Hello guys and welcome to MotorBeam. This is a Ducati DesertX and it costs a little over 20 lakh rupees. While it is the most expensive adventure motorcycle under the 1000cc category, it is one of the most capable one too. In today's video, we are going to find out how capable it is and what do you get for your money. Before we do that, subscribe to MotorBeam and don't forget to hit the bell icon, yeah? Now design wise, this is one of the most unique looking Ducatis because it brings out the retro design in a modern format altogether, and the retro is just by the face itself. The dual pod LED projector headlights with this visor up front, oh my god, it attracts so much attention, it's just mad. This motorcycle in India is available in only one color, this white, and it does stand out. If you come close, you can get an offset fuel lid over here. This is a 21 liter fuel tank, which means you can go the distance without having to stress about it. Split seat setup, these seats are quite comfortable, good for the pillion as well, and it gets a very sleek tail. So this is a purpose built motorcycle, but then again, the purpose build comes from what goes below. KYB monoshock at the rear, KYB 46mm upside down forks at the front with Scorpion Rally STR tires from Pirelli on both the ends, a 21-inch up front and an 18-inch at the rear. Now these are mad spec tires as they grip off the road so well, it just goes over any and every road possible. Now the adjustability function comes as manual, it's not electronically controlled like the Ducati Multistrada 950 or Multistrada V2. However, everything over here, it's quite nice. Then again, you get spoke wheels. Abhi puncture ka dar nahi lagne wala hai because these spoke wheels are tubeless spokes again. This motorcycle weighs close to 220 kgs. Even then, it is so easy to move around that I can just pick it up, bring it ahead, and like if I want to rotate it, it's just this easy. This is one of the easiest riding adventure motorcycles I've found in quite some time. Now this motorcycle is almost as tall as me, मतलब इस पे चढ़ने उतरने को तकलीफ तो होगा ही. However, that is not a problem. The seat height is 875 mm. Now that is a bit of a challenge. However, if you want to get onto the motorcycle, I'll bring my pants up, put my leg here, and you can just swing your leg onto it, and this motorcycle just stands. Now I am tiptoeing literally, but for my height, which is 5 feet 6 inches, this is a very comfortable place to be on. However, there is a little bit of a problem, is that the seat is wide for comfort. So uske वजह से मेरा riding pants are stretching a bit and I'm not able to put my legs down completely. But this riding structure, it's just very nice. You can actually understand that this is a very commanding posture. The handlebar is almost up to my chest level. So if I want to stand and ride on this motorcycle, all I'll have to do is get up like this, get into the position and go off the road. I can lock my legs here because of the seat being wider. I can actually lock it very nicely and go off-road however I want it, wherever I want it. I just need the throttle input and the vision, and this bike does it. This has been a bit of a refreshment as I've seen clusters which are horizontal on almost all the Ducati motorcycles, and here it is vertical, and the data placement, it's quite nice. Even from the fuel gauge, speedometer, odometer and all of the details, distance to empty, which is quite prominent. You can also get the enduro details like the Dakar kind of numbers right in the center when you get into the enduro mode. It gets a total of 6 riding modes, namely rally, enduro, touring, sport, urban as well as wet. And the default settings keep changing. The power output, they work on the traction control, they work on wheelie control, they work on ABS as well. And overall, this is a very electronically loaded motorcycle, and with every mode the character changes. Now playing around with the switchgear too, it is quite nice. However, I have to mention these knuckle guards which come as standard, and these are quite sturdy. On the right side, you get the heated grip car button, you get a integrated kill switch with a starter button, and right below it, although it gets automatic headlamps, you get a button to switch off the DRLs and turn the headlamps on if needed. On the left, you get a switchable ABS button as well, but this is only useful when you are in enduro or rally mode where you can turn off ABS completely. In other modes, ABS stays on almost all the time. There's a high beam switch, parking light button, there's a mode button over here where you can use to toggle through the screen, and right next to it is the cruise control. And yes, the cruise control works really well. The overall feel is quite nice and it does not feel as complicated as we've seen in the BMWs. However, the matte finish does bring in quite a lot of premiumness over here. There is, however, one thing which I did not like, and that is the horn, and this is how it sounds. It is loud, but nah, I don't like it. You get a steering dampener as standard, which is a very nice touch, and it is damn useful as well. And if you look closely, you can adjust the handlebar angle as well to a particular level. Then there is an option of road or off-road. So if you want it a little aggressive or want to stand and ride, you can adjust the handlebar too. So there's a lot of adjustability options coming in. Plus, these mirrors which are round in shape although give a good view of what's behind, but I don't really like the design. I prefer rectangular or square format because it gives a good view of actually who's behind. These are nice, but I don't like it. From the 937cc motor, this one produces close to 110 bhp of power and 92 Nm of torque, and it is a torque-loaded motorcycle. Even at 2000 rpm, this motorcycle crawls. However, there are some vibrations lower down and in the top end, but the mid-range is the sweetest and where you can actually play around with this motorcycle. Going off the road, going on road, going touring, this is a very capable motorcycle, and one of the major reasons to buy this is like performance में बिल्कुल भी झिझक नहीं है. This motorcycle literally can go over any kind of terrain provided you know how to take it, because this is a very demanding motorcycle. It gives out a ton of feedback and it takes in a lot of feedback as well, and the way it moves around, it does not really fight with you, but then again it is a big bike. It is not light like the X-Pulse or the Himalayan that you can throw around. This can be thrown around but with a vision properly, because it is fast. Even with the block pattern tires on the road, it grips really well, and 0 to 100 comes that quickly. There is one more concern, that is this motorcycle too hot to ride? Well, if you're riding in dead traffic, you might definitely feel the heat. But if you're riding out on the highway, the radiator sends the heat towards your legs downwards, so upper body, it stays cool. Then again, riding this motorcycle on triple digit speeds is not a problem, because you can actually sit at 5,500 rpm. This motorcycle will cruise at 120, and that is the sweetest spot because there are literally no vibrations on this motorcycle at that time. And then the visor that is that tall with a big body as such, you can't really feel any wind blast, and there's a little bit of buffeting that comes to the helmet, but that's about it. So this is actually a very good touring motorcycle as well. The adjustability function for the front suspension is right below the handlebar. There's one for the rear suspension, rear monoshock, which is right over here, and you can adjust the preload. But then the amount of travel both the suspension have, 230 at the front, 220 at the rear, and a ground clearance of over 250 mm. This is a motorcycle that can actually go anywhere, like climb onto surfaces. If you can do it, this one can do it. And then there are the brakes which anchor like crazy. You get twin 320mm disc up front with Brembo monoblock calipers and a single disc with again a Brembo caliper at the rear, and the brake feedback is just massive. It brakes really nicely, plus it has cornering ABS function as well, so if you are off the road or if you are on the road, the braking feedback, it's nice and you stay in control almost all the time. Plus, as I said, this motorcycle gives ton of feedback and that keeps you engaged all the time. This motorcycle does sound very rowdy, and let me show you the exhaust note. As you could hear, this motorcycle is decently loud and it feels quite rough, but it isn't as much. There are a few things that I like about this motorcycle. Number one is the fuel tank size, the way it rides, the capabilities, the amount of tech that's there on this motorcycle. However, there are a few things which I don't like this is me nitpicking, because the mirror design is something that I don't like. The tail is a little too thin, and overall this is a costly motorcycle. Now with this few shortcomings, like for a little over 20 lakh rupees, I can actually buy a lot of other motorcycles, and people in the comments will come ahead and defend Honda Africa Twin and bring out the other motorcycles as well. But then again, this is a purpose-built Italian. The build quality on this motorcycle is top-notch, and the way this one rides, it's beautiful. I know it is not smooth as the Hondas or the other bikes, but then again, if you want something unique, if you have the money to get it, I would suggest you can put your money here and you will actually have fun, because this is a damn good motorcycle. If you don't want something that's this purpose built, you can actually go ahead and get the Multistrada 950, because that is even more comfortable than this. But Ducatis, well, they are beautiful. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.